recorded for the jazz guy the Defenders albums because he wanted one too, and we did one by the Woodies and the Good Guys, and we ran out of names. Nobody really cared who was in the band, they just wanted the title and the music. So for Japan we were the Clichés because we ran out of names. Which is ironic because the Clichés had a hit with a song called Man from U.N.C.L.E. was like 3 months in the top 10, and then our label, which was a different label, released the Challengers version of the Man from U.N.C.L.E. Same guys, just a different version, and it made it into the top 10 too. But in those days you didn't have necessarily pictures of the guys or names, and I even have a couple of Japanese albums that say they're us, and they have totally fabricated photographs of people or cartoons of people, and you just go, one's called the George Brothers, and I just couldn't figure out where did they get, and here's these nice old guys, you know, like, who are the George Brothers? But it's the same cutoff of one of our Challenger albums, but in Japan I guess nobody cared. But we still sell a lot in Japan, okay.
Big in Japan, kind of like in Germany, you're Hasselhoff.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go back just a little bit though, because I think for a lot of people, and if you're here in a music venue, you must give a crap in some way about music, but you guys have to think back into what it was like to fill a room with music back in the 40s. And the reason that they had the big band era is that you had to have all those instruments to get enough sound into a room so that you could have more than a couple of hundred people in the room. So the ballrooms, like in Newport, it was the
Rendezvous.
The Rendezvous in Newport Beach. There was a Starlight. There were a bunch of these ballrooms where, back in the big band era, they would play. But then you guys show up. You got 4 guys. How did that then progress? How did you fill a room?
Yeah, how did you fill a room? Well, one, we had electric instruments, which helped, but they were like little bitty tiny amplifiers, and there was a guy making country stuff. Well, this is a little Fender thing here. There was this guy down here in Fullerton, Leo Fender, who was making country and western gear, and we went to see, he was the closest guy, so we went to see him and said, here's what we're doing, this is what we need, and he would just make something for us. He just loved music, he loved making, so I don't know if he played guitar or anything, but he would just get our feedback and then he'd build us something. My first amplifier, there were no bass amplifiers, so I made one, a Dynaco Dynakit, which was like a Heath kit, new soldering iron, and acoustic research speakers, hi-fi amp speakers. And when I played it loud, the speakers would bottom out. And have you ever had a bicycle with playing cards and you clothespin into the spokes? And it sounded like, this sucks. So Leo made me a big box with a big Altec speakers, you know, and that's the Fender Bassman. And those are the Bandmaster. Those are like the granddaddies. You'll see on the stage here, all those stack amplifiers with speakers and big amplifier heads. Leo was the first one to make those.